Info dump or don't say a word. Move my head around like a startled bird. Can't do housework when I choose. When I win, I convince myself I lose. Fabric feels weird against my skin. I gotta hold my breath when I take out the bin. Can't go out cause it's too hot and bright. I can't sleep at night cause there's too much light. The bees in my brain won't let me speak. My thought process is quite unique. The mask comes off and now I'm weird. Everything is as I feared. Living in this world can be quite a chore. We've all had enough, but we still want more. Leave me alone, I don't want interference. Hey, not mate, that's the autistic experience. Hello and welcome to the Autistic Experience, your one-stop shop podcast for neurodivergent news, commentary, current events, Christmas, hamsters, wings, plant life, and birthday cake. Yes, once again, I am just looking at things in front of me and saying what they're called.
It's a weird assortment of things in front of you, though, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm saying them. My name is Kieran, as always, joined by Chloe.
Hi.
Hello. It is the 17th of December.
Already?
As this goes out, yeah, we're fast approaching the end of the year and that really awkward time at the beginning of January where it happens less now that we're adults, but you remember in school for like a good couple of weeks, you would write the wrong year at the top of your classwork.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up to that point again, folks.
Also, depression time.
Oh, yeah. Come on. All time is depression time.
It's true. That's extra depression time, though.
It's extra credit depression time.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, depression is for life, not just for after Christmas.
Not just for after Christmas.
Anyway, yes, hello, welcome to the show. It feels like it's been a long time since we recorded
It does,
an episode, but
it has only been a week.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does feel like longer.
It's been a busy week.
It has been a busy week.
So you will probably notice, well, fingers crossed you will have noticed that this episode is going to be a bit shorter than it usually is. I've said that before and it's ended up being basically the same length, but we'll actually try and do it this time.
Yeah. Because
we've been back home 200 miles away for the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. We got back about an hour and a half ago and we're quite tired.
Yes.
So what we're going to do today for you is, instead of the normal 3 stories we talk about, we're going to look at 2. We're not going to do any advice giving because we're waiting till the gold mine of Christmas.
Like extra advice for Christmas.
And then, we're just going to have a look at some of the events coming up next week in and around the UK. But I think it's only fair that right now I tell you how you can get in contact with the show and make us feel better about ourselves.
Yay.
If you fancy, you can go follow us on Instagram at The Autistic Experience, and you can follow us there, press like on a few things, make us feel good about our existence.
Yeah.
And also, if you really fancy giving a Christmas present this year, you can leave us a nice rating and review on whatever podcast platform you happen to be listening on. Episodes come out every Sunday at midday British time, so we'll probably have a special festive Christmas episode.
Oh, yes.
Next weekend for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that one, won't we? But yes, let's just hop on into it and just get looking at some of these news stories.
Aye, aye. Here we go.
Alright, so the first article we're looking at today was published on the 8th of December on Psychology Today. Psychology Today, good. I can't say psychologytoday.com. What?
We got there.
I got there, yeah, just about, yeah. And it's called How to Get Out of an Autistic Thought Loop. Rightio. So, there's some very interesting thoughts in this, I think.
Yeah.
It's an article written by an autistic PhD person. I'm not sure what the PhD is in, but It tells the story about how she got stuck in a bit of a thought loop, and that just made things somewhat worse, which is something I think we can relate to.
Yes.
She ended up having to like repeat the same sentence like hundreds and hundreds of times.
Mm.
And that it just made her real stressed. She couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
But she's kind of written down a bit later in the article what causes it and some advice for helping you get out of it.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, so there's this idea of rigid thinking, which she refers to as perseverative cognition.
Ooh.
I've been practicing that.
Ooh.
I can say perseverative, but I can't say psychology today.
Yeah.
So it basically has us just thinking about the same topic all the time, which can manifest itself in a load of different ways. So if you get stuck on the same thought, or happens with like, I'd say like echolalia, where you kind of repeat phrases with special interests, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you have like very specific interests, and that's kind of your entire existence.
Yeah.
You're very focused on things with hyperfocus and hyperfixation.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this kind of very rigid thinking that goes on in our brains. And that is kind of thing which instills these like thought loops.
Yeah.
Like if someone's annoyed you the day before and you just kind of keep going around in your head thinking about like what you should have said.
Oh, yes.
And then obviously you can't say it because it's far too late.
Yeah.
But your brain kind of just goes, okay, if I keep running through it and saying it, I might get that like brain chemical just released, which will clear that out.
Yeah, mine does that. Or it'll kind of keep reliving the same thing and maybe even build on it even further. So it'll get like more and more of an elaborate loop. But I'll still be kind of going round the scenario and thinking, I should have said that. But then they might have said this back, and then I could say this. And, you know, it just like I build up a whole conversation almost in my head, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, so this is referred to in the article as inhibitory control, where it says it's our ability to control our behaviors, attention, thoughts, and emotion, which... No.
Yeah, no.
None of that. I'm just going to read out a little bit of the article now. It says, the prefrontal cortex is the more rational reasoning part of the brain that filters out what is relevant and important in a given moment and is responsible for inhibitory control. Then it says, in contrast, the limbic system can be considered our emotional brain center. So if the emotional brain responds to an unexpected noise in a fearful manner, by checking with the prefrontal cortex, so that's our rational one, remember, it can be reassured that the situation is safe. It's at this point that the kind of whatever state you're in, like fight or flight or freeze or what have you, that emotional side subsides and everything starts to return to normal. But not with us, because apparently there's like a bit of a bad connection in between those two bits of our brain.
Yeah.
Which means that even though our rational brain is like, it's fine, there's no problem, our emotional side is going, everything's on fire.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got a pretty good example on that if you want. The one that I used to get when I was younger, which I think actually, having read the article, comes under probably a thought loop, is that pretty much every night I used to get really stressed about the idea of the world being overcome with some sort of zombie apocalypse, right? It used to freak me out. And I would get kind of uncontrollably worried about this thing every night and have the same conversation with my mother every night to try and rationalise it. Like, in my head, I knew that it wouldn't happen. And there was no way that, you know, zombies would come about. And yet my emotional side of my brain still was, like you said, you know, alarm bells and fire. And like it just wouldn't stop this daily loop cycling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely something that I still get now, like you said earlier, with the example of if you get annoyed with somebody and you think back on what you could have said, or if somebody annoys me and I feel like I've reacted poorly, then, you know what I'm like with that hours later, I'll be at home and I'll be going, oh, I wish I hadn't have said that. I wish I hadn't done that. I don't know, what could I have done instead? Why did I have to do that? And I'll just like relive it and think I could have done something differently. I'll react to stupid like it's I didn't even know this was a thing until I read this. So it's interesting to see that it exists for other people. And it's not just my brain. Quite nice, really, to know.
Well, the good news is when you do actually have your autism assessment, you can use the phrase perseverative cognition.
Yes, I can sound fancy.
At the end of the article, they do put a couple of different tips for trying to manage thought loops. One of them, number 5, is look after your self-care needs. Because it says, I'm more likely to get caught up in a destructive loop when I'm tired, hungry, or generally stressed.
Always all 3.
Like, that's our base state.
Yeah.
If I'm not at least one of them, I'm asleep.
I'm basically always tired and stressed, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not often hungry because I eat constantly.
Yeah, you've got to pick one. You're either tired, hungry, or stressed, or any combination. You can't be none of them.
Yeah.
It says developing healthy emotional regulation is an ongoing process. It's a non-going process is what it is. But yeah, if you want to have a little read of that yourself, we've summarized a little bit, but like there's quite a lot of advice for trying to get yourself out of loops and quite a lot of further reading if you fancy some more homework. And if you want to find said article, you can go onto our Instagram page at The Autistic Experience and you'll find a nice little post with the episode title and us two looking
super cool,
super pleased with ourselves. And then you just kind of click the little arrow to the side and it'll show you the articles. So you can tappity-tap away on whatever search engine you use and find it nice and quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on to our second article of today. I've got to say, this next article really kind of pulled the rug out from under me.
Okay.
Because I was expecting it to go a whole different way. So this one is on the Washington Post and was published on the 7th of December. And it's the title is Autism is Front and Center in the Pioneering New Musical How to Dance in Ohio on Broadway. So I'll just read you the first 2 little paragraphs and just tell me where you think this one is going. Okay?
Okay.
It says, actor Haven Burton wasn't worried about what professional critics thought of her new musical How to Dance in Ohio. Who she really wanted to hear from was her 11-year-old son Hudson. The show follows 7 autistic characters as they prepare for a spring dance. After co-starring in a performance this fall, which is awesome to us lot, Burton asked her son what he thought. His opinion mattered not just because his mum is in it, but also because he has autism. Now, the way those 2 paragraphs set it up, where do you think that's going?
Maybe just like something a bit kind of entertaining or, like comedic, but not that actually represents it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, your assumption is a lot more optimistic than mine.
Okay.
Because my reading of that, just off that, and it kind of made me go, oh no, was it goes, mother has autistic son, mother writes musical to make son feel better about himself.
Yeah.
And then it's, as you said, not really representative. And none of the actors are autistic.
Yeah.
And they're just acting autistic.
Yeah, so it's a bit
that's
dodgy.
That's what it read like to me. But I am pleased to inform you that it is not like that.
It's very good, isn't it, actually?
It follows 7 autistic people, and all the actors playing autistic people are autistic.
Yes.
That's the important thing in this. Okay, just having a skim of the article, it doesn't explicitly state that the person is autistic, the one with the autistic son, doesn't specifically say it, but the 7 lead characters are all autistic actors.
Yeah, so if she's in it, you'd assume she is.
Well, no, she's playing the parent of one of the main 7.
Oh, so okay, so she is in it, but she's not one of the main 7 autistic. I get you. Okay. Oh, so she's pretty much playing her real life role.
Pretty much.
A parent of an autistic child.
Well, they say write what you know, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully it's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, the comments that the articles got from her son suggest that it is good and that he was quite happy with finding the characters kind of relatable.
Yeah, but bearing in mind that the words attributed to the son come via the mother. And she's hardly going to say, oh yeah, my son hated it. He said he couldn't relate to any of them. He was bored halfway through. Of course she'd go, oh yeah, he loved it. He said it was nice seeing himself up on stage. Although I will say that performances of this, it says the show has also tried to accommodate autistic theatregoers, offering cool-down spaces, fidget spinners and headphones that offer a separate sensory-friendly mix of the show, especially designed for autistic patrons.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
That's always nice when you know that ear defenders are present.
Yeah, because it's nice hearing the music.
Yeah, but just I don't want it to,
Blow
pierce my
off.
brain. Yeah. And the fact that that's been included, they've thought to include those things, also makes me think that there is some good level of thought behind it.
Yeah.
And that hopefully it'll be good representation.
Well, fingers crossed. I hope it does well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to be able to go see it unless they tour the UK anytime soon, but
you never know. It could be
you
huge.
never know. It could be huge.
It could become the new Hamilton.
Yeah, but what are autistic people going to do? Go out to the theatre
That's true.
with other people?
Yeah. Netflix. Put it on Netflix.
What this is time to do is move on to look at some of the events happening in and around the UK
Oh, go on.
over the next week.
Ooh, go on then. What's happening in the UK over the next week then?
Plenty of things, let me tell you. Well, coming up tomorrow as this goes out, the 18th of December, we're back with our old friends at Autism West Midlands.
Whoa!
Between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, it's a candle and leather making event for autistic adults.
Doesn't surprise me somehow.
What, for candles?
Well, in the Black Country, their event would be making candles and leather. Going back to our roots. Industrial roots.
So this is happening at Riverside House in Stourbridge. It's free to go to, but as always, you do need a Black Country postcode and be in the process of being diagnosed as autistic, or if you've already got your diagnosis. If you want any more info on that, you've got until tomorrow, but you can go to autismwestmidlands.org.uk, and chances are some of their stuff will just kind of keep rolling around because they do real good events.
Mm-hmm.
From what we can see, so
I'd go to a candle making workshop.
yeah, but you got to live in the West Midlands. Is that a sacrifice you really want to make?
No, I know what it's like.
Then on the 20th of December, so this coming Wednesday, this is a ticketed thing, so it's £12 to go to. This is happening in the Carolina Brunswick, which is in Brighton, at 7:30 in the evening. It's ADHD The Experience.
Ooh.
So it says, are you ready to embark on a journey of celebration, revelation and laughter? We invite you to a one-of-a-kind event that promises to shatter stereotypes, tickle your funny bone, and delve into the unique experiences of living with ADHD. So it's basically 3 people who are just sharing their experiences and just chatting about ADHD from the looks of things. I don't know where they got that idea.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we don't charge.
Maybe we should start.
Maybe we should start. Oh, but I don't want the crushing realization that no one's going to turn up. I've played to small crowds before, and that's just depressing. Anyway, hopefully they don't have that experience. So if you're in the Brighton area, then go along to that this Wednesday at 7:30.
Yes.
Details on Eventbrite. Now, last event for today on the 23rd. So this coming Saturday.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm bringing this up not so much for the event itself because it is very much geared towards children. So I'll just say it's an autism-friendly Santa cruise.
Interesting.
So it says, join Santa and his helpers for a festive autism-friendly version of our Christmas cruise along the River Weaver. So this is run by the Canal and River Trust in Anderton near Northwich, which is just south of Warrington. So yeah, I'm bringing this one up, as I said, not necessarily for the thing itself, because it is very much geared to autistic children. But I mean, I'll just lean over and just kind of scroll through it. So it's just got this thing about preparing for your trip and then preparing for the cruise. So it says something along the line like, Santa usually hides within the boat and surprises the children. However, for this trip, Santa will meet and greet the children within the marquee along with Mrs. Claus. And then it says, once again, the marquee will be decorated, but every effort will be made to ensure flashing lights are turned off. It basically just goes on to tell you what is going to happen, like layouts of seating and how long the thing is going to last and how it starts. There's a safety talk to start off with. So it basically just gives you a step-by-step thing of how the whole thing is going to work and stuff like stuff to bring with you, provide photos of the sort of thing it'll look like.
Yeah.
So in terms of like information given, that is very autism friendly.
Yeah, that's very good.
Because it gives you like step-by-step kind of instructions about, what's going to happen throughout the day, what provisions are being put in place to make things a bit more comfortable. They give you a picture of what it'll look like so you can go, okay, I'm prepped ahead of time.
Yeah.
So whilst the event itself is geared towards autistic children, the actual information given out is very friendly for our brains.
Yeah.
Because it takes basically like all of the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
And I think more events should have information like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because you can then very obviously see what they've done as well to make it easier for us to handle.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice, really, because there's little things in there that they've adjusted that I don't think you'd even necessarily think about.
More like Santa hiding.
Oh, yeah. Like
to surprise the children.
But like, if you went to the autism-friendly one, you wouldn't know that he usually hides around the boat and jumps out. But like, knowing that someone's thought, actually, that might not go down super well with, autistic kids is kind of nice. I think it would save a hell of a lot of stress going to places and going to do things if everywhere told you, this is what it looks like. This is where you're supposed to go. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to bring.
Yeah, or like, this is when you need to turn up.
Yeah, yes.
Like, this is where you can park.
Because we've had some stress in the past, haven't we, going to places we don't really know and not knowing where to go. And
yeah, it's fine up until the 5 minutes before you arrive at the place.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose in the brain hole.
Yep. We just need full in-depth plans and guides for everything, please.
Yeah. And pictures too, if at all possible.
Pictures are very good.
Anyways, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for this week. Hopefully we've done a pretty good job of keeping the time down so we can allow you to continue with your lives and also allow me a little bit of breathing room in the edit suite.
And a bit of time to sleep tonight.
Anyway, yes, we'll leave it for today. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Autistic Experience. We will be back for another full episode, probably next Sunday at midday British time. And of course, in the meantime, you can go follow us on Instagram at The Autistic Experience if you also want to have a read of those 2 articles we talked about and the events which are going on in the next week. If you want some extra info on those, go have a look at that. And also a rating and review would be very much appreciated.
Yes.
We're not above begging.
I really thought you were going to say in the meantime, go get that free lunch.
Oh, okay.
Not go and look on our Instagram.
Oh. I mean, I can say that now if you want.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. So in the meantime, you go get that free lunch.
Yay.